If you're looking for a place to relax and watch somebody draw, you came to the right place. Today's art inspiration is based on these two quilts that were handmade by my grandmother years ago. All right, everybody, we're getting ready to draw something beautiful. Okay, so what we're about to draw kind of reminds me of an Amish quilt. It'll be 9 pages of paper, and it just has this beautiful, colorful pattern to it today. And if you guys would like to follow along as we draw, you guys are welcome to. We're just going to start with red. These are just our usual Crayola markers. Let's see if I get a dry one or not. I always grab one and you find out if it's dry. If it's dry, you grab a fresh one if you want it. But so we start in the middle of the paper, and you just kind of make a heart shape. That one's dry. So let's see if we can get one that's got a little more ink left in it. We'll just leave that little, let's see here. Yeah, that looks a little better. And you just spin your paper like we always do, and you're kind of making hearts. See how I'm doing that? You guys see okay? And we're just, like I said, starting with red. I'm trying to make little, like, spinning heart shape. That looks pretty good. I might put a little something there. See how that came out? Spinning and makes it pretty. And like I said, we're gonna have two drawings that look kind of like this, but they'll be different colors, and then we'll put them together in a repeating pattern. Well, I really appreciate you guys tuning in today and relaxing with me, doing some drawing at the table. I thought I'd tell a story that's hard to believe. Are you guys ready for this? I'm not sure. I look back on it sometimes and wonder how this really happened to me. Anyway, let's get started with the story, and I'll continue to draw these patterns. So you guys go ahead and draw along as you listen to my story. I'm just a Midwestern country kid, but I had a friend that I met who had, believe it or not, had a famous artist of an uncle who lived in Hollywood, California. Well, he invited me to come visit him and his uncle. He was staying with his uncle in Hollywood, California. Here I am living in Indiana at the time. And I thought, okay, I got a vacation coming up from work, I'll go. So I fly out to Los Angeles. My buddy picks me up at the Los Angeles airport. He opens up his trunk, and there's a cooler full of more beer than you could ever drink in your life, which I did drink a little beer back in the day. Not any nowadays, because it doesn't work too good for COVID. I'm a long hauler now, so I don't drink. I might have a glass of wine here and there, but that's about it. But anyway, back then we did. He takes me to his uncle's house in Hollywood, California. And we go climbing up these hills through Beverly Hills and Hollywood, California, through all this crazy traffic. I'm pretty much already in culture shock. Like, what is going on with this? But I was pretty excited to meet his uncle, who's a famous artist. And if you guys want to look his name up, his name is Jamie Odgers. He actually did some Olympic art for the Olympics. And many of his paintings are famous. And I got to stay with him for 2 or 3 days. It was wonderful. But that's not the whole story. So anyway, I had a friend who was staying on the Navy base nearby. And so my friend who lived with the uncle, the artist uncle, said, have your other friend over, and have him bring his friend. The 4 of us will go out and we'll just go for a walk through Hollywood at night. What could happen with that? Okay. So I invite this guy and his buddy up from the Navy base. Of course, they bring a trunk load of beer like we need more. And so we all take off, we all down a few of those things. We lock the door of his uncle's house, and we head down the streets of Hollywood, California in the middle of the night. I was pretty much, I've always been a sensitive person. I don't know, artists, I just have been. But, it was a lot for me to handle. But I guess the beer helped. But anyway, we ended up downtown Hollywood. I don't know where that Viper Room was. That's where a lot of Hollywood people went. I don't know where we were at, but there was a guy sitting outside on a bar stool of this old brick building, and he had a gun, big big gun on his side. And my buddy seemed to know where he was going, the one that lived with the uncle, the one that lived in Hollywood. He seemed to know where he was taking us. I guess this party had been advertised all week. So, let me put a little more green on this one. Anyway, the guy takes our IDs and he lets us in. I can hear this booming music that I've never heard this kind of music. Now, mind you guys, this is like 1993. So I didn't even know what I was hearing. All I kept hearing was this constant boom, 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 boom. That's the whole beat. The beat just goes constant, boom, boom. I guess I'm doing it with I'm orchestrating it here. But anyway, I don't know if you guys have ever heard this techno rave type music. And I was raised on, old rock and roll, like, Led Zeppelin and Rush and all that. And so we got into this thing, and there's all these flashing lights, and all these people were gyrating all over. We got up there, and I looked at my buddies, and I said, I think we're going to need another drink. Anyway, these people are just coming up to you. They got these tins full of these drugs, and they're passing out all these white little pills, and everybody was high as a kite. My buddies and I knew not to do that drug. I don't know what that drug was, but we didn't do it. But anyway, we sat in there for a couple hours. So a couple hours went by. We're just drinking beer, watching all this stuff like it's some kind of, it was just like a dream. Honestly, like a dream. I sometimes even dream about it. All right, so we're going to go on to our next part of the flower. But anyway, sum up this long story. We're in this crazy thing. We end up on the roof of this. So anyway, let's go back. This is the part that gets me. So my buddy who came up from the Navy base, he's gone. And the three of us, my friend from Hollywood and the buddy from the Navy base, his friend, the three of us can't find him. We're looking all over this place. Can't find him. Can't find him. We're really three sheets to the wind. So we start asking around, are there any like secret places here or some places that we don't know about? And finally we found a kid who said, we got the good stuff up on the roof. I was like, the roof? Believe it or not, you guys, I ended up on a old brick building downtown Hollywood on the roof. And the rooftop was covered in people laying on couches and recliners. And you could look down out over the city from this rooftop. And all these people were hanging out up there doing drugs and this and that. And we were looking around for our friend because he was missing. Well, needless to say, he wasn't up there. It was a wild experience up there, though. I know that. I really just wanted to get out. So anyway, but actually, I can understand, kids were just having fun and all that, but whew, it was wild. Anyway, and that music went on to become electronic music this day. For all I know, it was Skrillex up there jamming the music. There was one guy up on stage rocking the music. And then that became great popularity. But anyway, we couldn't find our friend, so after about 3 hours of looking around in this alien world, flashing lights and smoke and drugs, we had to leave. We couldn't, but anyway, we walked the streets of Hollywood all the way back to my artist friend's house. And lo and behold, thank goodness, my buddy that was missing, that came up from the Air Force base, or Navy base, wherever it was, he was laying over the hood of his car, completely passed out with beer bottles all over the ground. I don't know how he remembered how to get back to my buddy's house because we were so deep in Hollywood, California that night on the street. I have no idea how he remembered how to get back there because I would have been lost. And he somehow remembered how to get back there. Thank goodness, and he was there, and he was passed out. And I never got to say goodbye to him. He was a very close friend of mine. He was a wonderful friend. And that night, his buddy picked him up and put him in the car and drove him back to the base. And my friend, the artist friend of mine, we went back in the house, and I never got to say goodbye to that friend, and I never talked to him or saw him again. It wasn't by something that I wanted. It was just, you know, how time flies, and it's just, you never know when you're going to see somebody for the last time. And that was the last time I saw him. And I'll never see him. I won't see him unless I end up fortunate enough to go into heaven, because that's where he is now. He's gone. He's passed away now. He died young. He lived to be about, I think he only lived to be about 30 or 35 years old. But yeah, count your blessings, you guys. Try to stay out of trouble too. I kind of got myself in a little bit of trouble when I was younger, and now I kind of pay for it, but I'm clean, keeping it clean on this end after all these years. So what you guys just heard was how I was when I was younger. I have repented of that life, and things are much different now. Believe me, I don't do any of that. So, but anyway, that was just one of the wild story from my. But I did take something away from that night. Is his uncle, who was an incredible artist, inspired me, and I stayed in touch with Jamie Odgers throughout all the years, and he always would talk to me about, keep going with your art, you can do it. And he was a wonderful person and a wonderful artist. So I took his art to heart, and I got a lot out of that. And also I learned a little bit about California, and I did get to see some beautiful areas of California like Venice Beach and all that. But all right, guys, I think we're done drawing for the day. I hope you enjoyed my crazy story, and you guys tune in for the next one. But I'll tell you what we're gonna do now. Okay, you guys saw, we just drew the blue one, the bluish one, and then this one with the green and orange. We are gonna put this together in a repeating pattern. So stay tuned, guys. We're gonna go ahead and put this together on the floor and see if it comes out a beautiful masterpiece. We'll see you in a minute. All right, everybody, we just got done drawing our pattern at the table. Let's put the last piece in place and see how it looks. It looks pretty cool. Different colors. Well, I hope you guys like drawing along today and enjoyed the art on the channel. Just came out pretty nice. If you guys are inspired, get your markers out and try it at home. Well, thanks for watching, and as always, if you guys like the content and art on this channel, please consider subscribing, and I appreciate all the likes and comments. Let's keep this channel growing, you guys. I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.